Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with breaking news after police blocked off streets in South Fargo this afternoon looking for a man reportedly with a gun. The area of 17th Avenue and 49th Street South is back open. Let's go to Valley News Team's Macy Enger, who joins us live on the scene with much more. Macy, what can you tell us?
Yes, Stephanie, there was a lot of commotion out here earlier this afternoon. It's all died down now, but officers say it started at this townhome behind me, 1729. Officers say they were called out here because of a dispute between a girlfriend and a boyfriend. When they arrived, there were a few people outside. They say at that point it gets a little fuzzy. Now, they've talked to a few witnesses and the girlfriend involved. They say they don't know at this point how many people are actually a part of this. Now, they say they shut down the street because there was a concern for the public when one of the witnesses told them that they were threatened by the boyfriend with a gun. At this point, though, they say there's no concern for the public, and that's why they opened back the street. They believe that witness may have exaggerated when they were talking with them. They say they are still working on contacting the boyfriend, and they don't believe he was at the home at the time, and they say they're trying to get all the stories straightened out to figure out what exactly happened out here. Stephanie.
All right, Macy, thanks for the update, and we will have the very latest on this breaking story on Valley News Live and of course on valleynewslive.com. Well, next we have some new information on the trial of a suspended West Fargo teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student. The prosecution still has not decided if they will retry the case. That comes as a judge in the Aaron Knodel case turns down the prosecution's request to delay the trial. It's set for Tuesday, June 23rd. Knodel is facing 2 felony counts and is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student in 2009. He was originally charged with 5 counts of solicitation of a minor, but he was found not guilty on 3 of those. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop explains why the judge is delaying his decision and what coworkers and friends are doing to try to help him out. Ashley?
State prosecutor John Byers tells us that they have, quote, have to put their heads together to decide what they will do when it comes to retrying Knodel. Judge Stephen McCullough says the state should be prepared since they have been investigating the matter since February of 2014. He adds that Knodel has a right to a speedy trial. The judge also acknowledges the intention the state has for a change of venue. He says that is only granted in exceptional cases. He says they must try to find a fair and impartial jury in Cass County before deciding to change venues. In the meantime, co-workers and fellow teachers of Aaron Knodel are supporting him by raising money for his legal fees. More than $1,300 have been raised, and accounts have been established online and at a local bank. Fellow teacher and friend Jill Backlund says she is honored to know Knodel and that this could have happened to any teacher.
You know, all of us go out of our way to build relationships with students, especially the troubled students. And, you know, that's where this came from, was him doing his job.
Knodel was suspended without pay or benefits in August of 2014. Group organizers say Knodel and his family have experienced financial hardship.
This is a great way to show the entire teaching community that it's okay to keep helping kids. It's okay to form relationships, to build relationships and help them beyond just the academic setting.
Backlund says Knodel's legal fees have inched towards $250,000 before discussion of a second trial. We asked Backlund if she thinks it is appropriate to start a fund since he still has 2 felony counts against him.
You know, in my heart, I know that he's absolutely innocent and that he's not going to be convicted.
Evidence in the trial showed that Knodel and the alleged victim had a phone relationship, and multiple calls were made by both. Some people feel Knodel crossed the line with the late-night phone calls, but Backlund says otherwise.
Personally, I don't think it's going over any line. I think it's going above and beyond for sure. But I also think it's something that was encouraged by our district, you know, to reach out to those students, make them feel like they were a part of the school.
Now, earlier today, youcaring.com, a website where where one of the two funds, online funds were set up, was shut down. Organizers say that cause did not fit the website's terms of service and that all donations are secure. Another site has been established. Stephanie?
All right, Ashley, thank you. We have links on where you can donate to the Knodel Family Benefit on valleynewslive.com. Now, the search continues today for a rural Oakley, Minnesota man following a 12-hour standoff with authorities yesterday. The location's 15 miles southeast of Thief River Falls. A warrant has been issued for the arrest of Eric Reinbold and 3 felony assault charges. Police were called to Reinbold's farmstead yesterday morning when a passing driver spotted his pickup and him ramming his wife's car with 2 of their children in it. This morning, law enforcement officers, along with friends and family, continue the search for Eric Reinbold around his farmstead. Yesterday, a deputy who arrived on scene heard him yelling from the woods, saying he was armed. The deputy retreated and law enforcement agencies from 3 counties were called in. Authorities say his wife and children are safe and they don't believe that he should be a danger to the general public.
Who he was mad at is his significant other, his wife, and I don't believe he's going to pose any threat to the public. We still got deputies in the area and those type of things, and they will remain that way today, and we're hoping to get him apprehended.
Now, Sheriff Kuznia says that Reinbold is believed to be on foot. If you see him, you're asked to call 911 right away. Well, to our weather now. Just look at that. Picture perfect. Another beautiful day out there and not really a cloud in the sky. So, Hutch, are we going to have this weather continue tonight?
Yes, we are. It looks very quiet. The noisiest thing will be those winds. From the south, they've gusted over 20 miles per hour throughout your afternoon. Many of us in the upper 70s and low 80s right now. Here's a look at that radar. Quiet here in all of our counties in eastern North Dakota and western Minnesota. Well, the closest storms are about 230 miles away from Grand Forks right now, and so expect the quiet to continue. Temperatures will be in the 70s. Until we talk again on Valley News Live at 10 o'clock. Now, the weekend, there's a couple of hitches in the giddy up, and we'll go over all of that in hour-by-hour style coming up here in just a few minutes.
Hopefully not for everyone.
No, not everyone, and not for the entire weekend. That's the good news.
Okay, thank you, Hutch.
You bet.
The community of Oxbow is coming together tonight to make their next move after a judge's decision to stop construction of the ring levee that would protect their homes there. The rulings also put many homes on hold, people relocating because of the new levee, and who are reluctant to move forward, not knowing what's going to happen next. Valley News Team's Krista Bain joins us live in Oxbow with more on this. Krista?
Steph, the meetings are set to start here at 6:30, where a lot of people are expected to attend, both for and against the ring dike construction. Now, I just spoke to Mayor Jim Nyhoff, who says a big decision will be made tonight, and that's whether or not to join the lawsuit against the Joint Powers Authority as a city. Homeowners have been putting plans on hold to build new homes along the dike. And Nyhoff says he's just looking for clarification on whether or not these people can build their homes. Now, he also says he expects the city will decide to join the Diversion Authority to get construction going again. Reporting live, I'm Krista Bain, Valley News Live.
All right, Krista, thank you. And we're going to have much more on this story coming up tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. Well, now to a story that we've been following all week. Luke Goodridge and Isaac Nima have both been charged with aggravated assault. That's after police say they were involved in several violent events in Fargo beginning on Sunday. Goodridge was charged on 1 count, Nima charged on 2. Goodridge was emotional in court today after getting on his knees, begging the judge to let him out. Now, the judge decided on $10,000 cash or bond for both men and no contact with the victim in this case. Well, this week's events got us wondering about personal safety. Do you know who your next door neighbor is? All week long, people were shocked to find out about a string of violent disagreements stretching across a number of South Fargo streets. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric finds out what people are doing to stay safe.
Remember Kelsey Wilkie? She had her Jeep almost stolen one night last December.
It's a big hassle. Now I have to find a ride to work. I have to find a ride to school. I have to figure out how I'm going to get back to South Dakota for Christmas. Like, how am I going to go see my family if I don't have a car?
It was in the same area of 20th Avenue South, where police say there's a connection to this week's violence.
I think it's pretty safe just from the people that kind of just live around here.
As far as like safety goes, you know, you hear more stories about like robberies or like shootouts going around. It's like, you know, it seems weird, but I guess it comes with the territory getting more populated.
Andrew and Tanner were shooting hoops when I caught up with them. The house is a few blocks down from where violence took place this week. Tanner says you might not know everyone in your neighborhood, but all it takes is simply talking or waving to start to get to know people.
Sometimes we'll have small talk, but we don't really have any block parties or big gatherings with our neighbors, which is something we did in the past.
Sorby grew up a few blocks away. He says things are changing as Fargo grows, and you need to keep an eye on what's happening in your neighborhood.
We have a safe housing coordinator here at the department that works for us to work with people in the rental industry.
Lieutenant Joel Vettel says the PD has a number of programs to keep communities and buildings safe. The rental industry benefits because it ensures renters are law-abiding citizens. The residents benefit from being safe, allowing the police to focus on other problem areas. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Police say the best thing you can do, just keep an eye on your community. And if something does not look right, ask the neighbors or call authorities. Well, later on Valley News Live at 6, a Fargo police officer giving some local kids an inside look at what it's like to be an officer.
A breezy but beautiful close to the work week. Some thunder and lightning in your weekend forecast. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect coming up right after this.